welcome to Miss Cindy's Kitchen again. I know it's been a bit, and first off, as a disclaimer, we are in the middle of our first heat wave of the summer.
Yes, we are.
It's been 107 today, and as most middle-aged women do, and people in general, we sweat when it's hot. So, especially working in the kitchen, I'm a little sweaty, so please disregard. Anyway, I'm going to show you a newly discovered recipe for potato salad that I discovered last month and I absolutely love. It is called the best potato salad recipe ever.
Hey.
Basically, a person transcribed their mom's process of making potato salad. So the recipe itself was kind of circuitous, but I kind of wrote it down in a simplified fashion because I loved it when I made it the last time, and it is so good. So one easy way to deal with the potatoes, because honestly, as much as I love potato salad, peeling and chopping potatoes is a big PIA. Pain in the butt. Anyway.
That's PIB.
Well, you know, we want to keep this PG, so anyway. So, the russets that I had were relatively small. Most are just a little bit larger than egg-sized. So what I did is I scrubbed them, and then I used a paring knife to just cut a little ring around them, because once they're cooked, the jackets slip off relatively easily. See?
Well, they do.
So that's a way you can get around having to spend a lot of time prepping your potatoes.
So you don't have to sit there and peel them?
No. And if you're using a thin-skinned potato, such as the Yukon Gold, so basically just a thin-skinned potato, either white potatoes or the gold potatoes, just scrub them, and you can leave the skins on. I did that the last time I made it, and it was really good. The only potatoes that's not recommended for this is new potatoes or the red skin potatoes, because the texture doesn't work, because this is designed as a squishy potato salad, in that you don't want to have firm chunks. You want them to be semi-soft, so they kind of break apart when you mix them all together. So what I'm going to do first is assemble the sauce, which is, for the pickles, I like to use half dill pickles and half sweet relish, because it calls for a total of 1 cup of relish. It says all sweet relish, but I love dill pickles. So I find the easiest way to cut a pickle, I just cut it this way. You always want to make a frame over your food, have the knife underneath, because we don't want to slice off our fingers or rearrange the tendons in our hands. And then just chop, 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 like that. Now that's the way I cut them. If you have a preferred way of cutting them, go for it. And I already have 3 pickles in the bowl that I already cut. And these are the potatoes, pickles that I really like for dills. Costco carries these, Mount Olive kosher baby dills. They're a really good basic dill pickle. And so again, that is, it says a total of 1 cup of relish. However, I like pickles, so it's a little bit more. So that's 4 small pickles. And then half a cup of relish. This is just some sweet relish. I think it's Aldi's version of sweet relish. So let me get out. I'm going to use...
So go over the list of ingredients that you have here.
Alright. So, I will read off all the ingredients. We have... It calls for 2 cups of mayonnaise, and frankly, that was just too much. So, 1.5 is more than enough. I could even drop it down to maybe 1 1/3. And then again, the pickles and relish, And then 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, or you can use half yellow and half Dijon, but this is spicy brown, which is similar, which is what we have on hand. And excuse me, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Since I cook a lot, I get the vinegars in the big jugs. It's just easier. And then it calls for a tablespoon of celery seed, which I do not have. However, the last time I made it, I used this guacamole herb blend instead, and it was delicious. So I'll do that again. And a half a teaspoon of paprika, and 3 celery stalks diced, half a cup of sweet onion diced, and a tablespoon of fresh chopped dill, which I'm going to be subbing dry because that's what I have. And then 4 to 5 hard-boiled eggs, peeled and chopped. So, all right, I'm going to put some of the mayonnaise back because, all right, so 1 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, because the original recipe calls for 2 cups, but I used 1 1/2 last time and that was still a little bit much. So I think where we left off a second ago was fresh chopped dill, but I'm substituting dry. And then then it calls for salt and pepper to taste.
Yeah, that's where you left off.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper to taste.
So what I'm going to do now is assemble the sauce, and the best thing to do is to take the bowl you're going to have your potato salad in, use that to mix the sauce.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't need to dirty multiple dishes just to make something. So work smarter, not harder. Some people do it the other way around. So now I'm going to need that knife, so that was all right. Let me just wipe that off. All right. So we got our mayonnaise, and then we're going to need a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And let's see here. I'm going to do all the wet related ingredients first with this. So these caps get all twisted here. So a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That's a very important ingredient in anything that is pickled or like dressings and such. It adds a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of spicy brown mustard. Oh, that's a lovely sound. Okay. Hey, now that the apple cider vinegar is in there, it kind of lubricated this, so they're plopping on out. All right. And it's funny, kind of like my love for pickles, my family loves mustard, so we often have like 3 or 4 different mustards in the refrigerator at once, and about 6 kinds of pickles.
Mustard and ranch seems like the two,
yes,
the 2 condiments we have to have, and then the other 2 is gotta be ketchup and barbecue sauce.
Yeah. When Tyler goes shopping, he gets big containers of those things because he does not want to be out. So we're going to use, for the tablespoon of celery seed, I'm going to use this guacamole seasoning, and it's got a lot of little spices and herbs in it. A little bit extra, that's okay. It won't hurt anybody. And then we need a half a teaspoon of paprika. As you can tell, we go through a lot of paprika. I have to usually keep 1 of chili powder and paprika on hand because I go through those 2 so much. And so that is the mayo, relish. Well, we'll put that in last, but because I want to stir this first. And then we need the onion and the dill. So let me do the dill. So I'm going to use probably like a half a teaspoon because it's rather concentrated. And then salt and pepper. It just says to taste, so I'll just do a little bit. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. You can always add salt later. I'm finding that if I don't add salt while I'm cooking, it's usually fine because I usually try to use more garlic powder and onion powder because those add a lot of flavor. So now I'm going to mix the dressing part and then I'll add in the chunkier stuff. So, you have to forgive us, our dishwasher is gurgling and guzzling away there.
Well, you know, the sounds of a busy kitchen.
Yeah. And the other yummy thing to put in pasta and potato salads is pickle juice.
Oh, really?
So sometimes I'll just throw in a little extra just to make it more runny because I left out some of the mayonnaise because frankly that was a lot of mayonnaise. So, all right.
And you got that newfangled Best Foods mayonnaise too.
Yeah, it was what Grocery Outlet had. It's made with canola oil. So again, this is 4 mini dill pickles chopped.
Just throw them in there, baby. Just throw them in there.
All right. Then we need a half a cup of pickle relish. This is a very pickly potato salad. All right. And I like this little spatula deal because it's like a little scoop.
It sure is.
Yes. Whew, I apologize. I am sweaty. It's like, you know, when the weather is so hot, you take a shower in the morning, and then by the time your hair dries, it's wet from sweat. So, you know, you do what you gotta do. All right. So there is the pickles part of this.
So you put pickles and you put relish.
Yeah. It calls for a total of 1 cup of chunky sweet relish. However, I prefer a mix of dill and sweet.
Nice.
And that's my rendition. And a half a cup of diced sweet onion. So I'm shaking the measuring cup instead of the onions to loosen them. It's been a long day. All right. Just like when the kids were little, even if you didn't have them with you, you would automatically rock the shopping cart back and forth to quiet them down so they would go to sleep while you're out shopping. And then you're like, oh, I didn't bring them on this trip. All right. I once saw the funniest thing at Costco. It was that this person had a case of baby formula and a case of liquor in their shopping cart. That was all they had. I'm like, the newborn days are rough, aren't they? But anyway.
And you got there.
This is celery. So 3 celery stalks diced. So I was making soup earlier, so I cut up some extra celery. So I just went ahead and cut it up then. Work smarter, not harder. So that is the dressing part. And let me just clear things up so I don't block your view.
You're good.
All right. Now I'm going to show you a trick for chopping boiled eggs. You probably have thought of this before, but it's actually a very handy trick. So I already peeled these boiled eggs earlier. So this slices it one direction. Then you take it, flip it around, take it the other direction. Now you have chopped eggs.
No, that was so easy and cool. And
yeah.
Where do you get a little thing like that?
This is a Pampered Chef tool that I got when I was selling Pampered Chef ages ago, but you can get them at most kitchen stores. It's called an egg slicer. So, and if you can't tolerate eggs, or you think eggs and potato salad are gross, you do you, leave them out. This is what the recipe calls for. So I'm going to put all the additions in here and then do the potatoes last. Yep. And another trick for cooking boiled eggs. There's two ways you can make boiled eggs. You can either the traditional way of boiling them on the stove, but the other way I prefer to make them, which I find easier and more consistent, is to cook them in the Instant Pot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and basically you have to add a cup of water to the Instant Pot because that's an essential part of an Instant Pot is the moisture, because it uses pressure to cook. You have to have water. Put a cup of water in the bottom, and then I have an egg rack, or you can use the trivet that comes with your Instant Pot, and it's 5 minutes on manual. Then you let it natural release for 5, and then you put them in an ice bath for 5.
Nice. Okay.
So within 20 minutes, you've got your boiled eggs. I made a dozen because everybody loves boiled eggs.
Actually, we do.
So if you're going to the effort to make a few for a recipe, cook a few extra to put in your fridge. So basically what I did is I scrubbed the potatoes, and you're supposed to do this while they're still warm, but I did this earlier today because I was home making food. So anyway, they will slip off when they're warm much easier. So again, scrub them, put a slit in the skins, and that feels gross. Okay, let me just get a spoon to slip the skins off. So, and then we're gonna rough chop them. See, you can just peel them with the spoon. So if you have little ones with you, they can peel potatoes, without hurting themselves. So we're gonna go ahead and take the skins off of these potatoes, and then we'll bring you back in a couple minutes. All right, and in the intervening time, we have peeled the potatoes, and I cut up a fair bit of them, but I left a few. Just show you that cooked potatoes are relatively easy to cut up. And our darling dog got into the potato peels while I wasn't paying attention and made a mess, which the other dog currently licked up and ate the potato peels. So anyway, someone's gonna be pretty regular tomorrow. Yeah. So make sure you like and subscribe and share this video to your friends and leave us a comment. And so basically just keep this pretty simple. Cut the potatoes in half, and what I did is I used a little bit of olive oil on my knife to make it slide through the potatoes easier, because cooked potatoes are starchy, so just make that easier. And just chop, chop, chop. And they're gonna be a little soft because they're cooked, but this recipe is preferable to have the potatoes a little soft and mushy. So do that, and we will get this all chopped up. Much easier to chop cooked potatoes than raw, and a lot easier to peel them.
And the dog's promptly waiting for something to fall off the board over there.
Yeah, well, I fed her some potatoes earlier, and she realized she loves potatoes, but then again, she loves pretty much anything, so.
That is true.
She especially loves fruit and veg. She loves bananas and strawberries and bell peppers and anything else. Oh yeah, I gave her an apricot the other day, and she thought that was pretty good. Yeah, that's right, huh? She knows I'm talking about her.
So this one is going by pretty quickly now.
Yeah. And again, I cut up about half of them. already ahead of time. As I figured you all know what chopped potatoes look like, and you can just see me do this batch.
As I continue to get the shot with her.
Dahlia watching me. Well, here. Catch. Nom, 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 nom.
Okay, that's it. Go away. Go away.
Pepper was coming up and she heard the go away and she's turned around with her tail between her legs like, fine.
No, she just took the other route. She's right behind you.
Oh my goodness. Anyway. I had some russet potatoes that were looking a little sad, so I figured I'd go ahead and cook them up today and make them into potato salad, just so they wouldn't get too far gone. So, and the original recipe calls for 5 pounds of potatoes, but I think this is probably closer to 4 because I couldn't use all of the potatoes. I had a total of 6 pounds. But by the time they cooked down, it was between 4 and 5 pounds. So, using this whole scoop and turn. All right. So who wants to do the taste test? You'll do it?
Don't sound so excited.
He's tired. He had his 4th performance tonight.
Plus, he's directing a show, so he's like...
Yeah.
Potato salad.
He doesn't let grass grow under his feet.
Nope.
Alright, so I'll give you a bowl full because you haven't really had a proper dinner yet. So that'll be a nice little appetizer for you.
Okay. Oh, really good.
This is one of the best recipes.
I love the pickles in it.
Yeah,
They're good.
the pickles
Good
and the
stuff.
eggs and the mustard.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw in some pickle juice to pickle it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the best recipes that I've come across for potato salad in a long while. And every now and then you find recipes that you love, and this one was just so good I had to share it with you all. And I made a couple of my own variations, which we'll note when we post the recipe. And again, potato salad can be very personal, so if you don't like a particular ingredient or you don't have one on hand, just substitute. And anyway, thank you again for joining us, and make sure you've liked and subscribed and shared this video to your friends, and leave us a comment, and come back again soon for another recipe.
Thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen. To get more recipes like this one, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Share it out to your friends, family, neighbors, and leave us a comment to let us know how this recipe worked for you. And don't forget to hit that like button. Again, thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen.